Okay, I think I'm starting the stream now.
Okay.
Can you? Oh, I see chats. I see chats. So is it streaming?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me okay? Great. Perfect. I'll just let you watch this incredible intro first. By the way, I will not be shy about saying how much I hate the art of this game. It's charming in its own way. Anyway, here's a bunch of German. I can't read German. I'll be butchering most of the German names of everything, and I apologize. Like a butt. Oh, it's hands. That's a very long back. Okay, so that was a banging intro. I'm gonna do some option stuff. For instance, let's turn the voice off because it's in Japanese, but it's very like.
Just turn it down, like just so there's like.
I think no, I just turned it down to 0. Because that's as good as it goes. Let's see, what do we got here? Screen shake on, sunbeams on, flicker on, mist on, precipitation question mark on, text speed fast, window. Let's make it a little more opaque because I'm blind. Skip mode. I don't know what that, oh, for red. It's supposed to be, not read. Okay, disable skip after choice. Disable skip after choice. Okay, yeah. And then voice sync, no. Voice low, music's up. Y'all hear music, that's good. Okay, let me get out of here. Oh shit. Okay, so you probably heard this in 1,000 bad takes on like anime video. Anyway, this is Ever 17, the Out of Infinity. I think that's what that says, but it is a game that has some of the best twists I have ever had in a visual novel. And I'm going to read it to you because all the times that I have ever tried to hear a stream for it, it's kind of like no shade to anyone, but I feel like it's just, you know what, never mind, it's just something I want to do. Okay, I'm gonna do a new game now. He was in the middle of a blue world. Some beach noises. As far as the eye could see, a sheet of water reached into the distance. The May sun shimmered on its surface. Above, high above, stretched a clear blue sky. The fresh new sky looked so glossy and vivid that it might spill down to earth at any moment. That was all that was reflected in his eyes. The straight line on the horizon stretched into the distance, dividing the sea from the heavens. Ah, so tranquil, he murmured to himself. That's Takeshi. That's going to be one of our pro tags. A solitary seagull traced a gentle arc in the sky as the wind carried it away. The wind, carrying the ocean's scent, blew by him gently. The din of people could be heard in the background. The merry sound of children's voices echoed brighter than the sunlight pouring down. So peaceful. It was as if he was in a dream. May 1st, Monday! It's 11 a.m., 11:17 a.m., 16 kilometers from M Island, Okay, hold on, I'll do this. Komagahara Archipelago, Tokyo. The man-made island Incel A, rose above the waves of the water. Sorry. It seemed like a place removed from reality. The word utopia might have sprung to mind if you were to describe it. Actually, on a slab of rock on the boat dock of the floating islands were carved the words, "Where's heaven?" above the sky, at your feet. Leaning out over the railing of the island, he gazed into the ocean's depths. In the blue distance, he saw a massive metallic structure swaying gently. Utopia, huh? He mumbled and looked back casually. And there it was, a tanuki, or raccoon dog. I don't think that's a tanuki, guys. His eyes met those of the animals. For a moment, they eyed each other in silence. Hello? To clear the air, he nodded his head. The animal turned away, ignoring him. Upon closer inspection, he noticed something biting the animal from behind. It was a young girl. She was shaped like a person. Looking closer revealed that there was something strange about her as well. Namely, a small tanuki attached to the girl's backside. These are wrong words. Those aren't tanukis. It's a lemur and a dog. Okay. In front of him, there was a big tanuki being bitten by a girl who was being bitten by a smaller tanuki. This guy got to get out more. The scene was enough to make him lose his sense of reality. He rubbed his eyes, rubbed them some more, and then opened them again. After blinking several times, the bizarre scene refused to go away. Hey, would you like to do something about this, kid? Whispered the big tanuki. But the words didn't reach his mind because it was so busy trying to process this absurd scene. I must be dreaming, right? That's what he was really thinking. A dream. A dream that would not let him wake up. And whiteness. A cold white reality stretching forever. He felt the difference in temperature on his skin. The shock of it finally forced him to open up his eyes. And now this is Kid. He wondered how long he had been sitting. It couldn't have been long. He had only been in the park for an hour. He'd been sitting on the bench the whole time, eating the same ice cream. It's cold. Of course it was. It had melted into a muddy mess, and the melted vanilla ice cream trickled onto his hand, spilling onto his lap. Ooh, that's cold. The ice cream slowly soaked into the fabric of his pants. Fucking messy baby. Finally, the coldness of it had spread completely, soaking into his skin. Porous baby. He had been sitting there for a while. He had been sitting so long, but the person he was waiting for never came. There was no sign that she would. Why hasn't she come? He didn't know. Why am I here? He felt like he was teetering on the verge of utter confusion. Oh well. He shook his head and sighed. Didn't seem his pants would dry anytime soon. Park staff says, "What's wrong?" He sensed a slight movement and a girl sat down next to him. She was sporting the theme park uniform, white outfit made with a bluish ribbon. She looked like a guide. "Are you lost?" Beaming innocent smile appeared on her shining face. "Did you get separated from your friends?" "Yeah, I've been waiting." "Waiting?" "Well, I was waiting." "You were waiting. For me?" No. Looking at her grin, he seemed to be flustered. "I was told to wait here, so..." "I see. But it looks like they're not coming." She gave him a sideways glance. "Listen, you've obviously been stood up and you're tired of waiting." "I know." Her face suddenly lit up and she clapped her hands together. Hey, you're alone, right?" "Oh god." "Huh?" "Well, you're bored, right? How about if I give you a tour of Limu?" She tugged at his arm. Without waiting for his reply, she made him stand. But I'm waiting for someone." "Waiting? For who?" Who was it? He couldn't think of the name. "Well, I don't know who you're waiting for, but if they haven't shown up yet, don't you think you've waited long enough?" She said that happily, almost prancing around. "What do you say? How about it?" Alright." He nodded slightly. The girl's name tag glittered brightly against the white fabric of her uniform. "Y-O-U?" That's what it said. "I am you!" "Huh? I am you!" "Yep." She nodded. "My last name's Tanaka. And my first name is Yu." "You?" "My real name is much longer, though." "Longer?" "Like, long. Endlessly long. But it's such a pain. Just call me Yu." Nice to meet you." And with that, she enthusiastically stuck out her hand. "Nice to meet you." Without thinking, he shook her hand. And long before he realized it, he'd been sucked along into her rhythm. "Shall we go?" They reluctantly released hands. He looked once again at his hand, which had connected them moments before. Weirdo. The vanilla ice cream that had spilled on it had completely melted away. Meanwhile, 11:43 a.m. Huh? He noticed that the two Tanuki had formed a line and were moving forward. I think we're back to Takeshi now at this point. In front of them was a massive gate that had been sealed shut. The gate swung open endlessly, and the big Tanuki, the little Tanuki, and the girl went inside. This boy, I swear. Okay, so just a side note, this game starts off a little weird and is kind of great when you're playing it by yourself, but because I'm reading it to you, I'm just going to say it flips back and forth between two protagonists, and at first I had no idea what was going on. But yeah, so we have, I think it's Takeshi and Kid, and those are the two protagonists that you play as. So right now I'm Takeshi. We haven't seen anyone yet, so if you're like confused, it's fine. I am too. Anyway. Finally, my turn. He followed their footsteps. That was Limu's only entrance for visitors. Several park employees waited at the gate and handed over what looked like to be earphones to the visitors. It seemed that the earphones were used at some point up ahead. He wondered why. Looking around skeptically, but obeying instructions, he stepped into the building. And he surveyed the ceiling. There were no windows. From the polished round walls, it was clear that the room was dome-shaped. He looked around. Many of the visitors who had been waiting in line had headed into the room. Among them were friends, amorous couples, and people with their families. However, it seemed that the Tanuki family had split up. Tanuki family. Now we're calling them the Tanuki family. The big Tanuki shoved its way through the crowd of people and continued through the door on the other side of the room. The young girl stayed on the same side of the room as the little Tanuki. It's a dog. I've got no clue what those Tanuki are all about, but I guess my friends aren't here either? He didn't see any familiar faces around. He figured maybe they had already taken the far elevator downstairs. Just 20 minutes earlier, the visitor room had reached capacity, and the friends he had been waiting with had gone ahead, leaving him behind to go down to the next group. Oh well, I'm sure I'll find everyone down below soon enough. Finally, the gate to the entrance slipped shut quietly. It's a weird thing to do. The big tanuki fiddled with something on the wall, and the room got a shade darker. Park staff. Hello, everybody! Park employee emerged out of the darkness. He wondered where she had come from. She was wearing a flashy dress. Dim light shining on her made her seem like a character from some dream. Visitors are stunned. What? No reaction, folks? I'll try that again. Hello! Hello, says a young girl. It was a girl who had just a little while ago had been attached to the rear of the large tanuki. Oh, I found a girl with some spunk. What's your name? I'm Yamagi Koko. This is my dog, Pee-Pee. Probably Pippi. Probably Pippi, not Pee-Pee. I don't know which one I should use, but anyway, Pippi says, oh! So, that isn't a tanuki, it's a dog! I'm so glad Takeshi finally figured out it's a goddamn dog. I thought they didn't let pets in here. He tilted his head doubtfully. So, Koko-chan, how many times have you been to Limu? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my first time! Aren't you a funny girl? I get that a lot. You want me to do something even more funny? What? A friend told me a good joke the other day. Oh, maybe some other time. Why not? Because I have to tell everyone something right now. Oh, okay then. But it's really funny. That's too bad, huh, Pee-Pee? Pee-Pee it is. Arf, says the dog. Him once again. On behalf of the Limu Marine Theme Park, I'd like to thank you very much for coming. I'm about to give you a brief explanation about the Limu Theme Park and tell you a few things to watch out for. Hey, who cares? Hurry up and let us inside already! I would love to take everyone inside, but I'm terribly sorry. Everyone will actually have to wait in this room for now. It will only take 17 minutes. So please bear with me for that long. First, let me explain a bit about this room. It's called a compression chamber. Starting from now, the air pressure here is going to rise to 6 atmospheres. Why do you think it's necessary to raise the air pressure? I'll explain a reason for it in a moment. But before that, let me tell you a few things that you should be aware of. As the air pressure rises, you may start to have a strange sensation in your ears. Like when you are descending a mountain or in an airplane, it's because the air pressure is pressing on your eardrums. So if you think your ears feel a bit strange, pinch your nose with your fingers, close your mouth tight, and try to pop your ears. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. If that doesn't get your ears back to normal, or if you don't feel well, please raise your hand and let me know. I'll pop your ears for you. In the event that that happens, we will immediately stop increasing the air pressure. By the way, why are there people here who don't know how to pop their... Are there any people here that don't know how to pop their ears? Is everything clear then? Alright then, we'll initiate the rise in pressure. As I said before, the time required to increase the pressure is 17 minutes. During that time, I'll explain to everyone about the structure of Limu. As you all know, Limu is floating in the ocean at a depth between 17 and 51 meters. That's a lot. I don't know meters, so it just sounds like a lot. Now, if you look at this chart, you will see that the structure is divided into 4 layers. From the top, these are called the Inselno, Österboden, Zweiterstock, and the Dritterstock. In terms of a normal building, you might think of it as a structure with the ground floor extending down a 3-story basement. Inselno here is a floating island. It is an immense man-made island floating in the ocean. In German, Insel means island, and null means 0. So I guess this is zero island. Okay. In other words, this is the floor 0, or the ground floor. Next is the Erster to Dritter. Just then, hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! As he was listening to the explanation, someone pulled on him from behind. He turned around and looked. It was the girl who had just been talking to the park staff. What was her name again? Hey, don't you want to know about my joke? Oh, that's right. Her name was Coco. And that animal she's holding is Pepe or Popo or something. You want to know, don't you? Huh? What? The joke I was talking about. It's an Ame joke. I don't know what the fuck that is. An Ame joke? You haven't heard about them? They're real popular now, you know. No, I haven't. What are you talking about? An Ame joke is an American joke, get it? Ame joke, I guess that's supposed to be what that is. I don't know. Makes you want to hear it, right? Want me to tell it to you? Okay. Hold on. Give me a sec. I gotta remember how to do this. I'm gonna listen to the joke. Let's listen to this kid's joke, okay? Yeah, I guess I'll listen to it. Okay, here it goes. Once there was a guy who was talking to the ghost of his dead grandfather, so he asked him a question. How long is 1,000,000 years to a ghost, he asked. And the ghost answered, 1,000,000 years is like a second to me. Next, the man asked, how much is $1,000,000 to a ghost? And the ghost answered, $1,000,000? It's about 1 small cent to me. And when he heard that, the man pretended to smile all nice and then said, well then, Gramps, how about giving me 1 of your cents? Laughing, the ghost replied, sure, right away. But can I get you to wait just a second? I'm so funny. Well, that was a pretty good joke, huh? No, sorry, child. By the way, before we entered this pressurization chamber, we handed out earphones to everyone, remember? Yes, that's right, the earphones that everyone is using right now. These are not your average earphones, they are voice alternators. Limu is pumped full of helium gas. Okay, so without these in your ears, you'll sound like a duck. Do ducks sound like that? He removed his voice alternators to see what would happen. Haha, it's true, people really do sound like ducks. But then again, maybe they should sound more like aliens than ducks. The voices of the people around him jumped to a strange high tone. Hey, say something. Like what? Ha 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 ha, your voice is hilarious. Huh? My voice? Coco hadn't been listening to the explanation. Can you tell me that joke one more time? Why? Come on, just do it. Once there was this guy who was... she goes and says the whole joke again. He asked him a question, blah, 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 blah. And the ghost says... Now Takeshi's just laughing at her talking. What? That's weird. You didn't even laugh all just a second ago. He put the voice alternators back in his ears and looked back at the staff member again. What a good man. And that pretty much covers it. In approximately 1 minute, the door on this side of the room will open. And the other side of that door is an elevator, and at the bottom of it, a brilliant paradise awaits. We hope you enjoy yourself to the heart's content here at the Marine Theme Park Limu. Well, shall we go? Just as he headed for the elevator. So, are you here by yourself? Who, me? No, I just got separated from my friends. So, you're lost? Not exactly, but something like that. I'll head down to the elevator and take a look around, and then I'll find them. How about checking in with that girl who was just talking? Oh, I suppose I could do that. Excuse me. Looking back, he saw that the employee had already disappeared. Now we're back to Kid. So you came to Limu all by yourself? Yep, that's right. Even so, after bending down to wipe away the white stain on his pants, you stood up. You don't see that very often, a guy coming to a park like this alone. That was true. It was a paradise, an amusement park. and in that instant he had almost forgotten even that. So, why didn't you go into the park with your friends? Why arrange to meet them inside, Limu? That's because, now that she mentioned it, who had said to wait on that bench? Whose idea was it anyway? Oh well, whatever, I won't push you. Who was it? But I suppose that, well, I mean, you've kind of been stood up, right? What? Stood up? Stood up. Took a moment for the meaning of the phrase to register. Oh, well, so I hit the nail on the head, didn't I? I'm sorry. She shrugged slightly, embarrassed. Well, don't get depressed about it. She changed modes abruptly and let out a hearty laugh. She slapped him solidly on the back. I'll look out for you, alright? Alright. He nodded a bit, overwhelmed. So, I was stood up. He must have been dumped. Huh? Then again, he wasn't exactly sure what had happened. But... Huh? What? Aren't you working right now, you? You'd make a scary boss. No matter how many times he checked, she was definitely still wearing a uniform from Limu. It didn't have anything... Oh, I didn't have anything to do anyway. It's perfect timing. Yeah. They got into an egg-like elevator together. I like that detail. The egg slowly began to move. It felt like they were slowly floating up. Going up, she whispered mischievously. Well, I did not whisper that, so she yelled it. The elevator was terribly crowded, and everyone was packed in like sardines. Whoa, it's a little hot, huh? I'll say. Her face was so close that he almost bumped into it. Their bodies were flush against each other. She was soft and warm. He was surprised. All of a sudden, he felt embarrassed and started to squirm. Hey, kid, don't go touching places you shouldn't, she whispered into his ear, puffing out her cheeks. Crammed in the elevator, he couldn't move at all. That tickles. Don't move so much. I don't really have a lot of choice. I can't breathe. He shouldn't move, but he couldn't bear standing still either. He gasped for breath. He noticed her light perfume. Finally, the egg arrived to the top floor, and the suffering was over. He let out a cry and bolted from the elevator. What's with you all of a sudden? Hey, wait, kid! Kid! He sprinted away, leaving you far behind. It wasn't that he was trying to escape from her. He had seen something. At the edge of his vision, he thought he had seen someone. Up ahead, that someone was still visible. He chased after whoever it was like a man possessed. He chased after whoever it was like a man possessed. Okay. I've seen that face before. I'm sure I've seen that face before. That's what his instincts were telling him. But where had he seen them? He tried to sort through the foggy memory, and as he sifted, he kept running forward. Wait! He felt a desperate need to beat the person, but he had to hurry. Finally, he had run out of breath. Holding his pounding chest, he looked up. Ah! There she was! Mixed amongst the other people was a girl, standing. He was sure that that person that he had been searching for was that girl. And in the middle of the holidays, but for some reason she was wearing her school uniform. He wondered why she was alone there. Oh yeah, I could talk to her. She was by herself. She was all alone, just like him. What should I say? Where should I even start? Let's see. He had to calm down and focus. Why is it that I have to talk to her? Why in the world? Who is she? Who was she? Was she... Well, she was... Ah! He was caught up in a wave of people. He got pushed into an elevator and it started to rise to the surface. 17 meters below sea level, the elevator stopped at the first floor basement. He got out of the elevator as if he were being spit out. This floor is called Esterboden. He glanced around at his surroundings. She wasn't anywhere to be seen. He thought that they had both ridden on the elevator together, but I guess they apparently lost sight of her in the crowd when he got off. He lost her. He hadn't even been able to say a word. He really felt depressed. Maybe, did she call out to me? That idea suddenly popped into his head. What is this? This feeling? His heart was still beating furiously. Is something the matter? Says the park staff lady, whose name we haven't found yet. A uniformed staff member, different than you, was talking to him. Are you looking for someone? She gave him warm smiles as she said that. Yes I am. Feeling that he had seemed a little desperate, he quickly blurted out an answer. I'm trying to find someone. I was supposed to meet up with them, but then we must have missed each other. Who was it? What was their name? Their name... Hey! You there! Wait! Patter, 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 patter. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps came crashing at him. Huh? You mean me? Yes, that's right. Running feet braked sharply beside him. The guy was out of breath. Actually, I want to ask you something. Huh? Surprised, he slowly opened his mouth. So, this is Kid. He's the blue one. Takeshi's the red one. And he says, hey, you don't know, do you? There was nothing to do but to see where the conversation went. Sorry to ask you like this, but out of the blue, but you don't know, do you? You haven't seen my friends around here, have you? One of them is about 1.5 meters tall, around 60 kilograms, kind of good looking, dorky sunglasses, probably not the type girls would go for. The other was wearing a suit, no tie, short hair, 3 piercings in his ear, 1 in his nose. He likes to knit. And then there's another girl in the group who had some sort of simple color flower print one piece with frilly lace. You know, 3 people you might see anywhere. Did you see them? No. Young Kid shook his head. I see. Well, sorry about stopping you like that. Waving slightly, he left. The youth continued down the corridor ahead. A girl came over to him and started talking to him enthusiastically. He thought he had seen her before. Huh. I wonder if she knows that kid. But a troubled expression appeared on his face. Hey, do you want to hear a joke? Who are you? So that's it. She probably is one of those kinds of people that would talk to anyone about anything, anywhere, whether they were interested or not. He thought he would go down below. The elevator arrived soundlessly and swallowed their waiting patrons. He waited with them farther in the depths of Limu. And he walked around aimlessly. The attractions were all packed with visitors. Everyone had a beaming smile on their face, yelled happily, all evidence of Limu's popularity. But still, wandering around packed a lively amusement park all alone was a bit torturous. He couldn't help but trudging around with heavy feet and slumped shoulders. He was on the verge of looking depressed, but he held on his expression in check. What am I gonna do? Walking around blindly in that place, he thought he might never return to his friends. The floor was a lot wider than he had imagined. Oh right, my cell phone. He took out his PDA multi-purpose communication device from his pocket. I like that is so descript. Pushed the button. Didn't see any messages, no mail either, but the problem seemed to be it was out of range. At least that's what it looked like on the display. Are you serious? I didn't think you could get out of range in this day and age. Then he recalled that he had said something about that in a giant tunnel in the middle of the ocean is where only select radio waves could reach. And Limu used special electronic equipment which wasn't very compatible with mobile equipment. More than anything, they didn't allow PDAs to work inside, so the facility would be completely separate from the world above as part of the attraction. At least that was what they were told at the entrance, but he hadn't listened to a word of it. Maybe I should get them to broadcast a message over the intercom? He thought it might be best just to ask a staff member. He decided to look for one, but there wasn't a uniformed person in sight. There weren't many people walking around the corridors either. He turned a corner, entered a completely different corridor, and there in front of him was the giant Tanuki. It was the one he had seen at the gate while coming in. The Tanuki was operating a panel on the wall. I'll bet that's a Limu employee. Thinking of perfect timing, he saddled up to the Tanuki and called out, "Excuse me, I'm looking for a friend. Could you get them to make an announcement over the intercom or something? My name is, The Tanuki slowly turned around and looked at him. but it didn't say anything. Hello? The Tanuki turned away, avoiding him. He was being ignored. I wondered if it didn't hear me. The Tanuki was wearing a big stuffed suit and was a full head taller than him. There wasn't a definite possibility that his words were even reaching the ears inside. Hello? Can you hear me in there? He asked the question nicely as he poked the Tanuki in the ribs. Hey, you got a lot of extra flesh in here, buddy. He continued talking as he pinched, pulled, and released the Tanuki's flank. He thought that for a mascot suit, the Tanuki shot him a pretty realistic glare before it turned to walk away. Upset at that, he grabbed the Tanuki's shoulder. Hey, what kind of an attitude is that when a visitor is in trouble? Oh! Bam! Ugh! He'd been punched in the gut. The Tanuki actually slugged him. Not even his parents had ever really spanked him before. It had been a total cheap shot. The Tanuki had landed a solid uppercut. Hey, Tanuki! Yeah, I mean you! He went down on his knees and keeled over. Nearby visitors reacted. Is everything alright? Just then, a park employee appeared in front of the door. Are you having stomach pains? Okay. I'm going to forget it. It's nothing. I just took a tumble. Is that so? He couldn't bring himself to say that the Tanuki had floored him with one punch. The Tanuki turned its back and ran. The Tanuki's silhouette pranced lightly away into the distance. A moment later, it had disappeared up the hallway ahead. Oh, I wonder what happened to my Myun-myun. Myun-myun? To that Myun-myun? Myun-myun. Okay. The staff member looked after the Tanuki as she spoke. You're probably thinking, well, I should be getting back to my post, right? Oh well. She looked at him again and smiled, laughing. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call. The staff member disappeared. I gotta take a sip. Okay. I see. That wasn't a Tanuki. It was a Myun-myun. He wasn't sure why Myun-myun had hauled off and punched him, but he knew that wondering about it wouldn't help, so he decided to forget about it. He needed to be getting somewhere. I'll look around my own a little more, he muttered as he composed himself. He knew that there should be several attractions at the other end of the corridor. My friends might be there. His friends might have been looking for him as they waited in line. So which way should I go? His legs were so tired he could barely move. This is the world's worst theme park. And that's exactly how he felt. Alright, back to kids' perspective. Oh well. Sorry. Hit by a slight dizzy spell, he leaned against the wall. Hey, that's me. What in the world? He sighed. He was fully and utterly beat. The staff member that had just been talking to him had vanished somewhere. Yu wasn't around either. He had just lost sight of the other girl as well. He was alone again. What did I come here for? He thought that maybe he should have waited there where he was before after all. Having lost his destination, he rode the elevator from the aquarium and returned to the basement floor 2. Basement floor 2's Weiterstock. The second floor? I screwed up. The rest area is down one more level. It felt like he had come a long way from the elevator room. He didn't know which path he should take to go down. Which way? Could you come here for a moment? A voice called to him from somewhere. From somewhere? Huh? From the shadows of the path, the owner of the voice was beckoning to him, but the hand did not belong to a human. Look, hurry up, would you? It was a whispering voice of a young woman. Her bulky black arm was swaying rhythmically. Disturbed by the difference between the voice and its owner's appearance, he moved, hypnotized by its direction. The hand and arm clearly belonged to a Tanuki. It was a big Tanuki! Do you know where we are? He was led by the Tanuki into a room at the end of the walkway. Or rather, packed into it. This is Is this the girls' changing room? He saw a uniform like the one that you had been wearing packed away inside of an open locker. Hey, I can even see some women's underwear. What a perv. The room smelled like perfume. I can tell you that women's locker rooms do not smell like perfume. The air is saturated with a scent so strong it almost made him choke. The smell was about to overwhelm him. He struggled to get his mind under control and maintain his focus. Hey, do you know where we are? Tanuki asked the same question again. Come to think of it, why was she a Tanuki to anyway? He had no idea. This is the changing room. She said that before he could answer. Changing rooms are a place to keep secrets away from prying eyes. She said that quietly, sorry. I keep peeking over at chat when it goes crazy and I'm like, wait, who's here? Secrets? Uh-oh! Wham! Suddenly his vision faded. Everything went completely dark. Huh? Will you look after this for me? Huh? What? Wait! Look after? He didn't understand. Here, I'll help you put it on right. Wear it? He had no idea what she was talking about. Whoa! He didn't understand why, but he couldn't move. He was powerless to resist her and let her do what she wanted. In that moment, something completely covered his body. This should do it. Alright then, I'll leave the rest to you. And the light sound of footsteps faded into the distance. The last thing he heard was the click of a door shutting. He heard the sound, but he did not see her leave. What did she do to me? His face felt heavy. His body felt heavy. He had tunnel vision, and for some reason his body was bristling with hair. He'd become a man! Could it be that this is the mascot outfit? When he shook his head, it made a sound like bristles were brushing something, and there was a smell. There was a scent from inside the costume, a sweet smell that made him dizzy. It pierced deep into his brain. Before he knew what was going on, he had opened the door and was shuffling out the pathway. Alright, back to Takeshi. Ah! Without thinking, he let out a cry. I had found it! That's the Tanuki! He had heard that this is not a Tanuki, but Myun, the fox monkey. I don't know what that is. That information had already disappeared from his mind. I forget its name. It doesn't matter though. That's the person that hit me and ran away. Didn't want revenge, but he did want to ask him what he had done, why it had done what it did. Without making a sound, he slowly approached the Tanuki mascot Myun. And as soon as he got behind it, he quickly grabbed the costume by the head. There! This sure is a picture of perfect health. Who are you? I should be asking you that. Why would you do something like that? Huh? What did I do? Don't play dumb with me. I have no idea what you're talking about. You hit me! No I didn't. I have no idea what you mean. Liar. What? Did you forget? I'm not lying. This girl gave me this outfit out of nowhere and... What? You just met her. When did you change? I just put it on. I just put it on. What are you talking about? But why do this? This? And at that point, the Tanuki collapsed. He collapsed in a full Myun regalia. What? What? Hey! Takeshi shook his shoulders, but there was no response. Somebody come quick! Something's not right here! He yelled. Visitors watched from a distance. What's the matter? The view is back on screen. A female employee heard the fuss and came running. Huh? You're that girl from before. This guy just collapsed all of a sudden. What? Let me see! The employee took the pulse of the fallen youth. Takeshi wondered if she had any medical knowledge. He's alright, but we can't leave him in here like this. I'll help. Great, thanks. Back to Kid's perspective. Why had such a thing happened? He had no idea. No idea where he was, where he had gone. Shaking, feeling ill. He could feel his hair from the costume running along the sides of his, both of his sides as two people carried him, rubbing. He wished that he had get the mascot suit off of him quickly. The fur felt nasty. It was hot so hot he couldn't stand it. The heat made him feel faint. His consciousness felt like it would drift away. Why had such a thing happened? It was strange. So strange. Didn't matter to him or her. He had heard a different voice from somewhere. Back to Takeshi's perspective, he had been hauled into the infirmary. I wonder what it could be. Is he anemic? Maybe it was the mascot suit? Maybe he couldn't get used to wearing it? It's possible it could be heat exhaustion. Does it look like he'll be okay? Doesn't appear to be anything serious. A little rest and he should be fine. I see. Thanks for your help. I'll take it from here. Oh, alright then. He opened the sliding door and left the room. Saving people could sure be stressful. What was it that I came here to do? A cool breeze was blowing along the walkway. Back to Kid's perspective. Breeze. But where was it coming from? He wondered where he had come from. He saw something faintly. A ceiling. Sheets. A bed. He had been put to sleep on a bed. On a bed in the infirmary. He saw something again. Below the sick room bed. Who was on the bed below? Dun dun dun! It was Coco. Who is this? This isn't me. Of course not. Back to Takeshi's perspective. It is now noon 40. That's how you tell time. He decided to go further down the hall. The third floor underground. They had called it the Drutterstock. I'm calling it that because it sounds cool. The guys, they've got to be lined up waiting for a crowded ride somewhere. Hey, sorry, I'm getting in. He dashed into the elevator. The doors reopened silently and closed again. Huh? New character. One other person had gotten on. A girl. A girl. More like a young woman, I guess. The girl had gotten on. She was about high school age. The elevator floated upwards in an instant before descending. There was a faint sound of movement and vibration, and then their eyes met. He wondered why. The girl stared at him suspiciously. What? Just who are you? Why are you here? Why are you following me? Gotta apologize, I guess. That's what I gotta do. I'm apologize. I'm sorry. He didn't recall seeing her, but he nodded slightly in apology. Did I do something to offend you? Not really. He was getting more and more confused. I mean, this elevator is for employees only. Oh, I see. Boom! Jolting suddenly, the elevator stopped. He looked at the ceiling. The lights flickered unsteadily. What was that? It couldn't be. Couldn't be? Couldn't be what? Back to Kid's perspective. Couldn't be. He wondered if something had gone terribly wrong. It was strange. Very strange. Who is this? Oh, it's her. We finally met. I've been looking for you this whole time, but his voice didn't reach her. He couldn't hear her voice either. No matter how much he tried, no sounds reached him. Damn, what is going on? But he faintly saw a figure. He was able to make sure. He could see himself and the girl talking over there. He saw it on the other side. I can see myself over there. He watched. And he watched. That's strange. No, it's odd. If I'm watching them, then who's the me watching me? Something felt out of place. He knew the truth and his lips trembled. Who is that? Who could be the me over there be? He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. It was like a dream. It was like he was watching the continuation of a dream. Back to Takeshi's perspective. But a dream couldn't have felt so powerfully raw. All of the screaming, all of the sound of running feet, the shrill wailing of sirens. That wasn't a dream or an illusion. Couldn't be? Do you know something about this? I don't know anything. Do you know something? How could I know anything? The lights gradually dimmed and finally went out. Back to Kid's perspective. Why? He had no idea. He didn't know. There was no way he could know. But there on the bed, there. On the bed, there. The bed below, the bed on top, the bed below. Who are... You? Who? Stop. Please stop. Don't come out. Please don't come out. Stay inside. Don't crawl out of there. Please, stop. 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 No. There was nothing to fear. It was all right. Because there was no longer anyone. Because there was no one there. Hey! Who's there? Is someone there? This is back to Takeshi, I think. I'm still here! I'm still in here! Somebody get me out of here! Answer me, please! Back to Kid's perspective. Isn't there anyone there? Nobody answered. The surroundings were filled with silence. What? Is anyone there? I'm so alone. He burst with laughter, the ultimate feeling of liberation. There was no one to restrain him anymore. And he ran, but no one stopped him. Getting there was easy. All that was left was to aim for the center. Just take a step. It was simple. He threw his body into the water. He sank. Deeper, deeper, and deeper. Back to Takeshi. Sound had died away. The embrace of an unbelievably pure silence. Not even a beam pierced into the darkness. All he could hear was repetitive, heavy breathing. Back to Kid's perspective. He lost himself, his mind short-circuiting. His vision narrowed and was overrun with blue. Deep blue. Blue. Something was strange. He wondered if it was really blue. And back to Takeshi. Even though he was perfectly still, it seemed as if his heart was racing. Sweat poured off of him. His breathing was ragged and labored. Back to Kid's perspective. Gradually, his consciousness dissolved into the darkness. Black. Endless black. There was no mistaking it this time. Everything was stained black. There was no boundaries to the color. Back to Takeshi. His ears hurt. The ringing in them wouldn't stop. He felt pressure expanding in his lungs. He felt queasy, sick to his stomach. The girl says, "The air pressure. It's dropping. I forgot. I need to pop my ears." With a pop, the air building inside his ears was released. Damn. Which way is the exit? So now, the paths cross. Pitch black. Nothing moved. He didn't move either. There wasn't any sign of a breeze. He didn't hear anything, just echoes of something invisible. Time froze to a stop. He stopped there. He felt like he would forget that he was even alive. It was his intuition, only a little more. No, it was no good. He had to get out, but he didn't even know which direction to go. He had to get himself out of the darkness. Had to. But what could he do? He didn't know. He didn't know. And just then he felt a faint, warm light. Light? A blade of light slicing through the flat world of darkness. And he knew the direction was over there. And that there might be a way out. If he could get over there. Alright. Hold on. Apologies, I gotta have a walkthrough. This one's dense. I gotta find my friends. Sorry. I've got to find them. And this is how you select your character, I think, is either you question who am I or I've got to find them. So by picking I've got to find them, I am now Takeshi for the remainder of the game pretty much. I quietly opened the door. I turned the knob and the door to the elevator slowly opened. I can't read that. An announcement over the intercom. System weather from... I'm so sorry. I heard the mechanical announcement but didn't understand what it meant. I'm sorry. The battery is probably dead. I pushed the button but my PDA didn't respond. Thanks to the help of the backlight of my display, I found the door's emergency manual opening mechanism. Hey, are you alive? I spoke to the girl. Yes. She looked a little tired. The floor was silent. I heard the sound of water flowing somewhere. It was a muffled sound, but there was no sign of anyone around. What's going on here? I don't know. Let's go see if we can find anyone else. She went into the corridor. Most of the doors were locked as if to keep us from intruding. We found a floor directory, so we decided to look around the rooms listed on it. We came to an open space. It was called the rest area. There was a scattered mess of bags, a pair of shoes, wrapping paper from the souvenir shop, and other stuff discarded on the floor. As I had expected, there was no one there. There was a thick set of shutters in the circular space in the center of the area. I laughed an empty laugh. I wondered if this area is under construction. That's probably why no one's here. Yeah, I bet that's why. Let's try the next place. We continued walking down the path that we had been walking. The door of the corridor was shut firmly. Doesn't this door open? I don't think it will. I don't see a switch. We chose a corridor which was open and slowly walked down it. We didn't come across anyone. It felt like we were walking a route that someone else had set up for us. The door on the side of the corridor had been left open and we went in. There was a stand selling tuna sandwiches. It smelled like they had been cooking up until recently. Hey buddy, I'll take 2 of the sandwiches that are half price on weekdays. If only someone were there. Looks like he ran off and left his stand. Doesn't he have any pride? There aren't any customers here. Business isn't exactly booming, is it? The girl's just looking at him. I'm hungry. I wasted too much energy walking around. And my fish took off. I read fish, and so I read fish. I was like, and my friends took off somewhere without telling me. Don't you think that's rude? Not really. We just met, and I don't particularly care about you. Oh, okay, whatever you say. And we returned to the corridor where we had turned down in an intersection and looked for the other rooms. Everywhere we looked was the same. I wonder if everyone is hiding somewhere? Maybe they're trying to surprise us. What? Why do you think so? Well, I don't know, it's just kind of a feeling. I had to speak to stay calm. I felt like if I went quiet I would return to the darkness of before. The room we went in next, ruins, were waiting for us. Lemurian ruins. They were filled with silence. If it wasn't for the paper garbage strewn across the floor, it would have been hard to believe that anyone had been around. Where is everybody? Hey! Give me a break over here! Where did everybody go? There's a limit to how far you can take a joke, you know. It is now 3:40 p.m.-ish. Why doesn't anyone come out? I sank to the floor. I didn't know why, but I was having trouble breathing. Against my will, I started to sweat. What do you think? What happened here? Why haven't we seen anyone? I don't know. There's only one thing for sure, she said, without changing the expression on her face. This is not normal. If this keeps up, we could be in danger. Don't you think so? She stared at me with calm eyes. I thought I heard a low groan from somewhere. I swallowed nervously. I nodded uncomfortably. In the next instant, the girl dashed to the other side of the corridor, and quickly I stood up and followed her. I was exhausted, but I used every bit of my power to push ahead. We jumped into a small entrance on the side of the corridor. We headed up. We started climbing up the stairs at top speed. I ignored the pounding of my heart, and we simply ran. We ran without looking back. We ran. I reached the top of the floor and I put my hand on the emergency hatch connected to the floating island. The knob wouldn't budge. Damn, why won't it open? Kabang! The whole structure rocked. The hatch gave a squeaking sound and the knob bent unnaturally. Huh? This way! The girl screamed. We rushed back down the stairs again. We had no time to go down each step. We jumped towards the direction where we could see the corridor. The impact from the ground rattled my knees terribly, but I ignored the pain. I was out of breath. I gasped. Safe place, Pokepon. What? The girl's expression didn't change. Anyway, she hadn't lost her breath much after running that hard. Hey, don't you want to rest? I want to rest. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. Fine then. I sat down on the floor. The girl walked slowly ahead down the corridor. We could see hundreds of colorful fish swimming comfortably outside the windows. The room was quiet too. It was just the two of us, me and her. And then I remembered that I still didn't know who she was. She had told me, do what I want, but until then we had been trying to escape together. I wondered what that was all about. It was all a mystery to me. Who? Her voice caused me to look out. She hadn't said it to me. Hey, somebody there? I asked this as I stood. The girl stood still. Her eyes were focused in the distance. I followed her gaze. The lady had appeared there had no sign of anyone The lady had appeared where there had been no sign of anyone a moment before. She was dressed as a park employee. I hadn't heard any footsteps. Huh? When did she get here? From here. This area is not safe. Please escape. Please, please, you must escape from here. It is dangerous. Dangerous! She looked slightly panicked. Hey, what happened? What's dangerous? Stay calm. Explain what's going on. You need to escape. We had an unexpected trouble. Level Delta Blau. She mumbled this again. Please escape, please. Please get out of here. Crash! There's all this water coming in. Uh-oh, the glass shattered in an underground theme park. A massive amount of seawater and countless fish came flooding in. It was as if they were attacking me. Oh, look at this movie. What are you doing? Hurry! Whoa! The destructive force of the water was incredible. The approaching swell mowed down everything in its path. It swirled and swallowed debris on the floor. Someone dropped a purse, a floor guide for the facility, anything and everything I encountered. I wondered how fast that water is moving in. Ridiculous thoughts flashed through my mind, and I wondered how fast I could run. There was no guarantee that the water wouldn't catch me. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I ran frantically and jumped in the air. There was water flowing underfoot. Whoa! I slipped. I knew that the situation was bad, and I took a spill. I would be sleeping with the fishes! There's so much trouble. I was carried along into the air. The girl had grabbed my arm and yanked me forward with such incredible force. She ran lithely like a gentle gazelle, and her speed was like I had just hopped onto a car. It almost felt as though she might be ripping my arm out. Her strength was incredible. Over here! Hurry! Hurry! I know. Huh? Even harder to believe was the park attendant who was running ahead of us, leading the way. When did she... It looked like she had just been sucked into the swirling waters ahead, but no. Damn. This is no good. It's not functioning. Go back. There's no time. We bounded from the slope into the other corridor. Crap. Which way do we take to get out of here? Takeshi's kind of a dumb shit. I just gotta reflect on that and have a sip of juice. Alright. Sorry. I'm fine. This is exciting. Excuse me. We all ran without stopping, looking for an exit. It's a dead end! Can we go through here? Yes! I'm going! Hey, this isn't a corridor. Ah! Oh, movie time! Oh, I should... Sorry about that. I didn't even think to do that, my bad. She kicked through some metal mesh into a big air exhaust duct. It was sloping, it was a sloping pipe-like tube. What the fuck is a pipe-like tube? We shot down the incline, stumbling. It sounded like there was a crazed froth of angry water roaring behind me. No, I was already caught up in it. Everyone was just flushed along. And we were spun in circles. I had no idea which way was up and which way was down. And then we were all spit out into a corridor on a lower level. Saved by a hair, the shutter on the duct clanked down and shut solidly behind us. The flow of water finally stopped. It was solid ground. It was a floor. It was safe. I wasn't in the water. I was alive. That was good. Good? There's still fresh fish flopping around on the floor, but the water had receded a while earlier. The sector is confirmed to be drained of water. However, 30% of the facility is already believed to be submerged or completely flooded. Hey, wait a second. I just thought we were going to escape up. If we go down... Hey, what are we supposed to do now? There's no point in arguing about this. I'm sorry, but... The employee looked extremely sorry and was bowing. It's my responsibility. Alright. What do I choose here? This is not important right now. No, relax. Yeah, let's just all relax. I'm glad to be safe, but more important than right now is, who are you guys? The chick in black ran like something bionic. The glass broke and the attendant that was right next to it, she just took off at like warp speed. What's up with that? And don't tell me that this is part of a theme park atmosphere. Neither of them tried to answer. Fish on the floor were still jumping around. I'm really sorry. The park employee was bowing so low that her head approached the floor. For some reason, her clothes were completely dry. It doesn't do us any good just standing around here. Can you show us the way? Certainly. There is a relatively safe place nearby. I will take you there. Relatively safe? That was about the same as saying that everywhere else was dangerous. We turned around and started heading down back the corridor, which had been washed down. We looked down a panel and finally realized that we were in this Whiterstock basement level 2. We went into a nearby attraction. So, are we the only folks here? I don't know. I'm currently investigating. Yeah, right. Investigating what, I thought, as we walked. Ah! What is it? It was a tiny scream. Sorry. 3 other people are approaching. What? It's you! For a while I wondered what was going to happen to us, but it was one of the female employees that I'd met once before. I'm glad that we survived. Hey, aren't you... The girl finally noticed us. I didn't think that there would be anyone else here. Yeah, how are you? About as good as I look, I suppose. Seems like you had a rough time of it too. Yeah, lucky guess. Relaxing a bit, I returned her smile. There were 2 other people behind the girl. One of them was the girl I thought was named Coco. Our eyes met, Coco grinned. Oh, we meet again! It's been a while. I don't know. It doesn't have to be right now, but Coco, will you tell me that joke later? I was really in the mood for one. Sure, no problem. I'll think of one. She nodded brightly. Kid just says nothing. The other person was the kid that I brought to the infirmary. His expression looked darker somehow. If he'd become super upbeat all of a sudden, that would have been weird too, but for some reason, it bothered me. Something wrong with him? He doesn't look so hot. Oh, he's a bit... He hesitated. By the way, hey Sora, do you have any idea what our situation is? Girl attendant addressed the question to the staff member in the dress. So now we're finally getting some names. The blonde is named Yu. Sora is the girl with the brown hair that doesn't get wet apparently. Well, the communication lines are down. I've been investigating ways to restore our connection, but it's going to take some time. The attendant called Sora said that. Well, in any case, let's go to the central control room and monitor things in detail from there, okay? That sounds good. I wish that I was more useful. Don't worry about it, Sora. With that, the girl addressed me again. We're going down to Dritterstock, the 3rd floor underwater. You're coming, right? Yeah, I'll go. We took the emergency corridor behind one of the attractions. It looked like there was a number of similar narrow corridors above and below other corridors and rooms. I figured that there was probably used as shortcuts by employees as well. My name's Tanaka. Tanaka Yu. My real name is a lot longer, but just call me Yu. What's your name? I'm Kuronari Takeshi. Kuronari, eh? Nice to meet you, Kanari. Good to know you, Yu. Girl's just standing impossibly high in the corridor, crossing her arms. The whole time, the girl in the dark clothes silently watched our exchange. We went down the stairs together. Me, Coco, you, Sora, the kid, and the girl in black. 6 of us total. We arrived at Dritterstock on the 3rd floor underwater. We used the ladder in the emergency corridor to descend another corridor and turned around the corner. Control room is really what that says. I'm going to just not say the German word for this because I know it just says control room. But anyway, control room. It seemed that it was a central control room. What do you think? Can you learn anything from these computers here? Let's see. It looks like directly accessing it would be the fastest route. Sora faced the monitor and held up both hands. Instantly, the content of the screen began to change and a number of windows opening and closing while the search of her data was underway. Hey, can you operate these computers without even touching them? I've got the latest cell phone. It's got a touch panel. And it's got a kinetic recharge function. What's that? Oh, it just means that if the battery dies, you can walk around or shake it and it'll recharge itself. It takes a while though. I took my PDA from my pocket and loaned it to Coco. Like this? Coco took the PDA and shook it using short movements like she was shaking maracas. Yeah, like that! The light indicated that the battery had lit up. Oh, you're right! The harder you shake it, the more it lights up. The lamp flickered. I didn't know if she was having fun or what, but Coco kept the maraca act up for a while. It looked like the PDA wasn't broken at all. All I had to do was wait and it'd probably work again. It seemed like the professional diving waterproof specification that it had boasted were actually true. Nerd. Sorry. Sora typed quietly on her keyboard. Huh? She was typing on the keyboard, but it looked like her hands weren't even touching the keyboard. I figured that was just my imagination. I've learned something, Sora said with a businesslike manner. She seemed done with the computer. Sorry, that's probably not how that's read. Everyone looked in her direction. Everyone, please be calm. As she said that, I noticed she looked a little pale. The room went quiet as the focus shifted to her. First, the first floor, Ersterboden. The whole floor is flooded except for one segment of stairs. Flooded? Like the whole first floor? Yes, all of the partitions have dropped and it isn't possible to go through any of its corridors. In other words, there's no way up. That is correct. And as for Zwiderstock and Dritterstock, the watertight doors did not close in time and Sector 3 is completely flooded. All the other sectors on the other floors are currently fine. However, some rooms do have water from the flood we just experienced. Currently, the bilge pipes are functioning, but it will take a lot of time for the water to completely drain. Bilge pipes? Does that mean that we have electricity? Let's see. Some electrical systems, including the elevators, are not functioning. The cause of this is unclear, but it would seem that the circuit damage in each section is playing a role. That is another reason why I was not able to survey the situation adequately before. What does she mean she wasn't able to? Something about her words nagged at my mind, but I listened to the rest of what she had to say. However, the generator is functioning normally and supplying power. As long as the generator is operating as well as the electricity, the water should be cleared with time. Incidentally, the internal air pressure of the complex is 1 atmosphere. The air is 22% oxygen, 75% nitrogen, and 3% helium. The temperature is 24 degrees Celsius. So what you're saying is basically we're safe here for a while, right? I'm sorry, but that is the current situation. Everyone will have to be forced to wait inside the complex for a while. For a while? How long is that? Until help comes. I'm continuously sending out a request for assistance. However, right now there is no guarantee that it will reach anyone. All communication lines to the incel node, including the emergency ones, have been physically severed and are unusable. I've also been attempting to make contact via seafloor cable network using sonar. Right now, I cannot estimate when the network will be back online. So, we're like little kids lost smack in the middle of the ocean and no one can hear our SOS. Exactly. The gravity of the situation was descending on us. There was every reason for everyone to get depressed. I sighed. Alright, well, we gotta stay in good spirits. One of the group was determined to dispel the gloomy atmosphere. You spoke so fast that it was almost scary. I'm a first-year student at, I don't know how to pronounce that, women's college, and I work at part-time. My name is Tanaka Yubisei Harukana, and I will be your guide until this rescue team comes. Hey, wait, what did you just say? I'm a freshman at Humiken Women's College. I work here part-time all over the holidays. Well, I'm kind of new to this whole tour thing, but I'll be leading the tour. No. After that. Huh? You mean my name? Tanaka Yubisei Harukana. Yubisei what? Tanaka Yubisei Harukana. I can't get my tongue around that. That's why I said you can just call me you. The name is long and a pain, isn't it? Hey, I have a question. Oh wait. Hey, I have a question! Another gloom destroyer appeared. What might that be? Can I call you Nakyu? Oh, please do. And what's your name? Yagami Koko! And this is Bibi! Wow! Her pet dog appeared from nowhere. Boy, she was full of energy. Leave it to the elementary school kids. And how old are you? I'm in 9th grade. What? What's the matter? No, nothing. Just seemed like the surprises would never cease. Okay, nice to meet you, Coco and PB. Thank you! Bark, 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 bark. What a cute dog. Bark, 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 bark. That's my dog noise. And so smart, too! I think so, too! And I wondered if maybe there wasn't enough oxygen in the room. I was getting a headache. The girl's just standing silently in the corner. Girl in black's clothes gave our upbeat companions a cool stare. You noticed the look. And how about you over there? Sorry. I'm seeing all this chat go so fast and I want to see what's happening. Anyway. Huh? Why are you asking me? Aren't you together? Stupid, what are you talking about? What's that supposed to mean? Sugumi. I realized the girl had spoken. Komachi Sugumi. It was just loud enough to make out what she was saying. That's my name. Hi Sugumi, nice to meet you. She turned her back. You shrugged slightly. I thought Sugumi might have been embarrassed. There was something kind of cute about her. Sugumi. I think that's a bird's name? I remembered her tugging me along in the aquarium and running. Sorry. Running like the wind. Sorry. Right. What do I choose here? Thanks for helping me. Thanks for helping me back there. Hey Sugumi, thanks for helping me back there. I walked over to her and said that. What are you talking about? You saved me in the aquarium, right? I didn't mean to save you. You were in the way. What? If you had tumbled there, you would have been in the way. I mean, you were an obstacle. Sugumi looked annoyed as she said that. This chick's intense and scary. In my mind, I retracted my earlier thoughts about her being cute. Sugumi and I glared at each other for a while. Hey, you two, let's get along now! You jumped in between us. I walked away from Sugumi as she walked away from me. Sora, it's your turn to introduce yourself. You was totally in control of the situation, turned to Sora, who was working on the computer. Oh, you mean me? Sora took her hands from the machine and came towards us as if she was gliding. Pardon me for the belated introduction. I am Kanegasaki Sora. I'm a system engineer in Limu's development division. Basically, the assistant chief. I gotta decide here. Assistant chief? So you're pretty high up, huh? Only in name. It's really just an assistant. It's no big deal. But hey, Sar, weren't you up at the gate above ground? You were giving some kind of explanation at the entrance, right? I only heard half of it, but...
Oh, you might be right. Are you the girl from before?
Oh, that's right, so you've noticed. We're short of people here. From time to time, I do work that kind of work. Sora smiled. I'm Kuranari Takeshi. I'm 20. I'm a junior in college.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yep, mucho gusto. Everyone laughed cheerfully. Except Sagumi. I took a little effort, but the atmosphere finally loosened up. You started gathering us up. Okay now, everyone. Now that we've started having so much fun, it's time we say goodbye.
Naki, wait a second.
We haven't asked somebody's name yet. Coco pointed in the corner of the room. This is Kid. Do you mean me? We've completely forgotten him. He'd been quiet the whole time, trying to stay out of the way, and he mostly kept to the corner of the room. You looked at the boy, and it looked like her face stiffened a little.
So let's ask. What's your name?
Coco tilted her head as she asked him the question. He looked down. Couldn't figure out what he was waiting for. Who am I? Huh? What? Huh? I can't remember. My name. Maybe you've got amnesia. Memory impairment. Oh, fuck. Okay. Erinnerungsstrung. Okay. Memory impairment. Amnesia refers to the memories lost for a certain period of time. It is more common with new memories than with old memories. During this period of memory loss, if the person has no memories at all, it is called complete amnesia, but in instances where some memories can be recalled, it's called partial amnesia. Generally, amnesia results from the trauma to the head, epileptic seizures, memory diseases, and disorders that manifest themselves as memory impairments. When a person has trouble recollecting events prior to the impairment, it is known as retrograde amnesia. If new memories cannot be formed after the onset of the impairment, it is known as anterograde amnesia. Amnesia is called by inherent mental factors is referred to as organic amnesia, while that induced by physical stress is typically known as psychogenic amnesia, with hysterical amnesia being the most typical example. This is an affliction in which the victim often can't recall knowledge relating to his or her personal history, such as one's name, history, family, or friends, and is often the reaction to incidents too hard to endure. Those who incite an unconscious desire to escape, forget, or repress those experiences and or events. Symptoms do not manifest in any particular way physically, and a person's brain function remains normal. People found wandering in the state are often taken in to seek help or from authorities such as the police. Young people in their 20s under severe psychological stress, such as those facing domestic violence, academic problems, marriage issues, or financial difficulties, are the most typical victims. However, this illness can be used as a cover for criminal activities, and it could be difficult to detect the difference. This is especially seen in individuals' demonstrative personalities or pathological tendencies to lie. Normally, in a few days or months, or with the help of hypnosis or shock therapy, the memory should return. Complete amnesia can be spurred by retrograde life amnesia. Memories are usually restored gradually, beginning with much older ones, and treatment methods include psychiatric care and hypnosis, both narcotic and naturally induced. Amnesia? That's right, he can't remember anything. I don't know why I made that funny. Did you suffer a concussion? You might have bumped your head severely somewhere. Yeah, you could have taken a tumble like when we were trying to escape. Sugumi let loose a nasty snort when I said tumble. What a bitch. I don't know. I don't remember anything. Hey, where is this? We are in Limu, a marine theme park. Limu? Oh, I've been pronouncing it wrong. It's Limu. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Limu, whatever. The kid glanced at Coco. He tilted his head. Coco was playing rock, paper, scissors with her dog. What? Okay. Good job, Coco. Meanwhile, 5:30 p.m. We moved to a room with a kiosk in it. Thankfully, there was an electric drink dispenser that was working. Each person poured a drink that they wanted into a paper cup. For now, let's just make a toast and pray that everyone is safe. Cheers! Okay then, cheers. Cheers. String of events leading up to the sudden toast went something like, "Hey kid, don't you know anything about before? Not even something personal about yourself? Oh, what do I know? Oh, I know I'm kind of thirsty," and that was how it started. But reason aside, we needed a breather, so the timing was good. "Hey Sora, what about you? Don't you want a drink?" Sora was standing stiffly. No thanks, I'm not thirsty." "Well, how about taking a load off? You've been standing this whole time." "I'm fine, but thanks for your concern." Sure, I thought. Sora seemed older than me. She seemed polite and serious. She seemed like a typical Japanese woman. Prim and proper could be one way of describing Sora. I looked around at my surroundings, and Yu was next to the kid chatting with him. Sometimes he would laugh or shake his head weakly. I could overhear bits of their conversation. They were talking about his memory. "It's not that out of the ordinary. You'll be fine. It'll fix itself in time." It looked like the two of them were drinking orange juice. Sugumi was way off from everyone and looking into the distance. I had no idea what she was drinking. I didn't have any idea what she was thinking either. After agonizing over whether to drink apple juice, Coco finally... did Coco want to drink cocoa or apple juice? That's... okay. Coco finally decided on both. I hope they're mixed together. But she proceeded to forget about her drink immediately, and Coco took hold of Pee-Pee's front legs and started dancing around. It was a cute scene. After seeing things calm down, Yu and everyone gathered into the front of the kiosk. "It looks like we're going to be in Limu for a while, so there's a few things I would like to go over. First, what's happened? Next, what should we do now?" "Tanaka-san, would you mind if I address the first of those topics?" "Yes, please do, Sora." Sora stood in front of everyone and held out her arms. Suddenly, a holographic window materialized in the air. I had no idea how the whole system worked, but I figured that at the same time, they had to use the entrance at the park. "I will explain." And then she said, okay. 12:45 p.m. A blackout suddenly occurred. Case unknown. Next, the emergency alarms began ringing, and this is also unknown. 12:54 p.m. The internal elevator shifted to its emergency power source and the evacuation order was issued from the entire complex. Employees and visitors evacuated the premise. At this point, some people panicked and opened their emergency corridor to the outside in their confusion without going through decompression. It is highly possible that they are experiencing serious decompression sickness at this moment. The emergency corridor to the outside was left open for several minutes. 1:03 p.m. The opening of the emergency corridor disrupted and the air pressure balance inside the complex and other devices responsible for adjusting the air pressure encountered problems. The complex started automatically pulling up into the air from the outside. As a result, the mixture of gas in the complex designed to maintain 6 atmospheres of air pressure escaped. Apparently, helium, which is lighter than oxygen or nitrogen, leaked out first. The air pressure in the complex dropped to 1 atmosphere at the same as the first level outside. 2:39 p.m. The major power source came back online. Lemme, I guess is the computer system. Lemme, I don't know. Computer system responsible for overseeing Limu rebooted and reset the air pressure adjustment mechanism. The air ventilation ducts were closed. However, Limu was built to saturation diving specifications, meaning as long as the internal air pressure was the same level or higher than outside, the water pressure It was designed not to collapse. Which meant 3:55 p.m. When the internal pressure dropped to 1 atmosphere, it became impossible for the external partitions to withstand the external water pressure, causing the glass to crack underneath the pressure, thus resulting in flooding. Subsequently, to minimize the damage from the flooding, the emergency watertight doors had automatically shut, which brought us up to speed. I would like to be able to gauge the current situation more accurately. However, some monitors and sensors are still not functioning normally. As a result, I can't obtain accurate data and can only provide the outline of the situation. Hey, sorry to ask the same question again, but the first floor above us is flooded, yeah? Correct. I have requested confirmation from our complex management system, and it was being confirmed. So, we can't get out of here. Currently, the top priority is requesting assistance, so I'm doing the utmost to get the communication system back online. I request your patience. Sour bowed her head. I was feeling depressed again. I didn't want to admit it, but we were in deep trouble. Hahaha, that's a joke. Well, alright. All we can do for now is just wait for help, right? You keep just trying to make everyone feel better, don't you? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you prefer my dark, despondent, and desperate approach? That's not what I'm saying. Anyway, how about another drink? You came with a huge industrial-sized bottle and held it out comically. I just can't get over how cheerful you are given how totally screwed we are. I complained again without thinking. I said that's because that's not it at all. It's like because oh my god. I'm like precisely because of the situation. You said that with a bit of a sulk. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. There's no need to apologize. Here you go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. She filled my cup to the brim with juice. Hey, hey. But most of it was just bubbles. This is good! Isn't it? Thanks for the juice. Yeah, anytime. It's on the house. I guess some joy in life, I guess. You shouldered the massive bottle and took it back inside the shop. Carrying it, she teetered like a penguin, which was funny because it really didn't suit her. Gee, she's a funny one. I laughed without thinking. Tsugumi. Tsugumi was leaning against the shop wall, staring after you. Her face was expressionless. I wondered what she was thinking. I had no idea. Even if we're going to wait for help, we can't just sit on our butts doing nothing, right? I casually tried to strike up conversation with Tsugumi. You act like you're all serious, but there's really nothing going on in that head of yours, is there? What? That's not true. I'm always thinking. Yeah, just thinking of a way to keep us from getting bored. I rattled off the first thing that jumped to mind. Sure, whatever. Tsugumi gave me an annoyed look. She seemed exasperated. I didn't want her to expect anything from me, but her attitude was frustrating. Ugh. Hey, alright, everyone listen up. I got an idea. I called out to everybody. Huh? What? What's the matter, Kurinari-san? What happened? Okay, everybody do we all need a line? Okay. Everyone gathered around. We're not going to accomplish anything just by spending time like this, right? So I thought, why not just split up and look around the complex? Why? Do you think that staying in one place would be... Don't you think that staying in one place would be safer? No, I think we should check to see if we're staying in one place, and doing nothing is really the safest thing to do. You know, walk around, see what we can find, scope out any dangers. If we find some, we can tell everyone to watch out for them and do something to get rid of them. And if we see if there is a safer place, then we could all gather there. But Kurinari-san... It's not like the rescue squad is about to burst through the door, so if we're going to have to be here in Lemu for half a day or a day or so, whatever, then we should find out what kind of place this is and get to know it like our own house. In that case, I can provide you with an abundance of information. No, that's not what I meant. Listen, Sora, you have to look around the communications network, right? You were just talking about how some sensors or monitors weren't working right and yet can't get a full sense of the current situation. Oh. Oh, I see. You clasp her hands together. So while Sora is trying to send an SOS, we should use our own 2 legs to see what kind of situation we're in. How about it, Sora? Would that be easier on you? Yes, I suppose it would, but there are still dangers. It seemed that Sora was unsure. Alright, I'll go then, said Tsugumi. Tsugumi suddenly laughed. It looked like she was laughing, but her lips curled nastily. Hey, Tsugumi, where are you going? We're going to split up and check things out, right? Tsugumi's expression was blank again. Turning around, she headed to the entrance of the emergency corridor. Hey, you can't just... Come back here! Hey, idiot! She was already out of sight. Her shoes clacked on the metal stairs that she climbed. Tsugumi is gone. Oh, Tsugumi is gone! What are we gonna do? I'm worried. Sora's brow furrowed and her expression stiffened. I think it's alright. The kid had broken his silence, and I was a bit surprised. It's like Takeshi says. It doesn't do us any good to just stay here. He continued without pausing. Tsugumi just went to the 2nd floor. I'll bet she's going to look around there. So why don't we look around on the 3rd floor? Alright, I'm in.
Okay, let's go do that.
That sounds like a plan. I gave a big nod. I suppose there is nothing I can do to stop you. Please be careful, everyone. Sora finally nodded slightly. And everyone's minds were set. Things were picked up. Okay, I'm going to stop. Because I need to eat. I did this for a while. I'm gonna go now. So, that's it. We're trapped on this thing, and now we're gonna investigate the rest of this place. I'll probably do this again sometime, maybe tomorrow, or I don't know, if I feel like I'm up to it, I'll do it later, but I'm tired. So, okay, bye forever. I mean, not forever, bye.